Khamzat Chimaev just revealed a confrontation his team had with Sean Strickland, while also naming the fighters he believes are the most complete in all of MMA, putting himself in a very elite group. In a recent interview, Chimaev highlighted himself, Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria, and Arman Tsarukyan as the most well-rounded fighters in the sport today. According to Khamzat, modern MMA is no longer about being just one-dimensional. He explained that being a pure wrestler without striking or grappling awareness won't get you far against elite UFC competition. Khamzat pushed back on the narrative that some of these fighters are just wrestlers. He pointed to Islam Makhachev knocking people out, Ilia Topuria's underrated grappling, and Arman Tsarukyan's high-level all-around game. Chimaev also touched on Sean Strickland, revealing that some of his friends recently confronted Strickland over his comments. But Khamzat brushed the whole thing off, saying it doesn't really matter because he doesn't take Strickland seriously in the first place. With Khamzat set to defend his title against Strickland next, the bad blood continues to build. Let's hear it from Boris.
Я вижу твою реакцию на некоторые выпады Шона Стрикленда, и это тебя не злит, а наоборот, как будто забавляет.
Ты в цирк идешь, когда там клоун уступает, у тебя какая реакция должна быть? Мои друзья подходили даже к Шону, так подходили у него, что так все. Даже им говорил, братья, типа, я бой хочу получить. Я не люблю фальшивых людей. Надо быть реалистом.
Ну, раскрутил он, я тебе скажу, интересно этот бой все-таки тоже.
Все честно, мне по барабану. Что он сделал, не сделал, мне сейчас выйти в клетку и подраться. И свои деньги добрать, улететь домой. Семьей побыть, там, маму увидеть.
Sean Strickland just sent a wild threat to Khamzat Chimaev and his team ahead of their upcoming clash. Strickland just issued a terrifying warning to Team Chimaev, saying he'd handle any real-life confrontation himself and even referenced his gun in the process, making it super clear that he wouldn't think twice about using it. The rivalry just got a whole lot more intense. He also ranted about why he believes he was left off the White House card, despite being one of the most outspoken American fighters on the roster. According to former champ, the UFC deliberately kept him away from the event because they know he can't stop himself from making controversial jokes and comments, especially when it comes to Donald Trump and other politicians. Sean admitted he understands their reasoning, saying he can see why the UFC wouldn't want to risk putting him in that kind of spotlight at such a politically sensitive event. Given his history of saying the most unpredictable things at the worst possible times, even he seemed to acknowledge it would be a disaster waiting to happen. Let's dive into what Sean had to say.
Do you feel a certain way that you are not on the White House card, being such a proud American?
I mean, I don't know, dude. I do make fun of Trump a lot. I mean, you know, the list got a little weird. Got a little weird, right? Like, got a little weird, you know? I think they know that I would be like, I think they know that I probably wouldn't shut the fuck up. I think they know. I would win a fight and be like, so guys, are we going to release that anytime soon? Which one of you the kids? If you were to come up to me like a man, say, you know what, Sean, you said some things about my dad, Kadyrov. And I'm like, well, you know what, dude? You whore yourself out, not me. I want to settle this. I would say, let's settle this like a man. But if you come up to me with three fucking go-fucker Chechens that don't speak English, I'm going to pull my gun and I'm going to shoot each and every one of you.
You happen to see Dana White's reaction during the whole thing? They interviewed him afterwards. They were telling him to get under tables, and he just said he just
Let me
stood
tell
there.
you, I'm sure Dana White is a sociopath. I'm sure like he's a super narcissistic sociopath.
Justin Gaethje had a heated moment in the gym while prepping for his title unification bout against Ilia Topuria. And it's making waves in the MMA world. According to a Russian training partner who recently spoke to Usha Taika, Justin got dropped in sparring by a hard head kick, and things got heated immediately after, especially once he realized the incident might have been recorded. The source might have broken one of the oldest unspoken rules of MMA gyms: never reveal what happens during sparring, especially if you've caught someone off guard. But in this case, the Russian fighter broke that rule, because after the incident, he might never train with Gaethje again. Sharing the story carried no real risk. He had nothing to lose, and frankly, it got people talking. Interestingly, he went to a local Russian outlet for the scoop, probably thinking it would stay regional and fly under the radar in the Western MMA world. That plan didn't exactly work out. When asked straight up about the incident, he confirmed it. Justin got dropped, then grabbed his teammate's phone and tried to prevent that moment from leaking before the Pimblett fight. Fans who followed his previous camp against Pimblett know this isn't the first time the highlight has had risky moments. In past vlogs, he showed a head clash with a teammate, and Usman submitting him, both fueling talk about how intense his training gets.
Короче, мы пришли на спаррингах, и мой брат, я ему сказал то, что снимать, короче, с первого раунда до последнего со всеми. И потом тренер Джастин Гейджи мне сказал то, что просто дай ему хороший раунд, да. И мы оба как бы уставшие были, и просто как бы на характер и на кайф, да. Потом я его как бы раз ногой бросил, и получилось очень хорошо. После этого я вышел, и он пошел к моему брату, говорит то, что дай мне телефон. Потом я говорю, что Джастин, ты думаешь, то, что я это буду выкладывать? Я ему говорю то, что серьезно, у тебя на кону будет, не делай это никогда. Нет. Он вот такой как бы...
Joe Rogan is doubling down on his praise for Olympic gold medalist and wrestling phenom Gable Steveson, calling him one of the very best heavyweights in the world right now, even though he hasn't stepped foot in the UFC octagon yet. On the latest JRE MMA show, Rogan breaks down why Steveson's rare blend of explosive speed, knockout power, and world-class wrestling makes him an immediate nightmare for the division. Rogan believes the heavyweight division is super shallow at the top, just Aspinall, Gane, maybe John Jones if he returns, and now Alex Pereira. Rogan says Gable is already championship caliber, and only a handful of elites could even pose a real problem for him. He even texted Dana White after watching Steveson's fight, telling him everyone at heavyweight is screwed. Of course, let's keep it real. Gable is still a long way from a title shot. He hasn't fought in the octagon, and heavyweight is brutal. No matter how decorated you are in wrestling, you still gotta prove it against the monsters in there. But when Joe Rogan is this excited this early, that's the kind of smoke that might actually turn into fire. Let's hear exactly why he's so high on Steveson right now.
A fight, an MMA fight, we hit that dude with a left hook and then took him down while he was out cold. I sent Dana White a text message. I said, everyone's fucked. I did. Because I was like, that kind of speed is crazy. Like, that kind of speed and incorporated with elite wrestling is crazy. The heavyweight division is so shallow right now. You got Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, John Jones if he chooses to fight again, Francis if by some miracle they can work something out and bring him back to the UFC. Other than that, there's no one compelling for like a championship caliber fighter. There's basically 4 or 5 guys on earth that are in this like championship caliber class, and you're already there, which is nuts, and you haven't even fought in the UFC yet. When I watched you move and I watched you fight, I was like, okay, how do you stop that? Who's got the skills to be able to stop that? There's like only a few guys where it's going to be a problem. The Francis Ngannous, the Cyril Ganes and the Tom Aspinalls. That's it.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.